So sorry about that. Had a little bit of microphone problems there, but we're back. And yeah, that's what we've got from the year chart, right? So that's everything from today's short-term view all the way up through the 1 year chart. Not really anything breaking down, from a, with a bearish edge. On the higher time frames, yes, things have neutralized a bit. We've had these pullbacks from the highs, but we haven't triggered anything to the downside. So still want to hold strong on those higher time frames and just see if we can get back into that range we've been trading in for the last few weeks on the smaller time frames, right? Let's zoom back in here and take a look at tomorrow's price activity and how we'll attack the day. There we go. Just bring up the chart and let's make sure we have our 4-hour markers here. Actually, I'll leave it just like this because this gives us some honorable mention levels as well. So we have previous high day, overnight high as of right now is up here at basically a previous high day. Overnight low right now is 56.38. And previous low day is 54.38. So those are the first 4 of the 4-hour markers. The last 4-hour marker is the opening print, and of course we can't put that on the board until the price actually opens up. So when we're talking about the proven and repeatable strategy, we have the 4-hour markers, and then once price opens, let's just say price opens here, we have our strategy, right? We look for higher lows at or above opening print to get into calls, targeting overnight high and previous high day. And then if we get price action to the downside, then we look for lower highs at or below opening print to get into puts, targeting previous low day and overnight low. Now, obviously, if we open here, we get a bounce off of overnight low and then some type of lower high here. You want to get into puts, probably not going to target that overnight low. There's not enough magnitude there. We would look for the previous low day. And to the upside, right? If we push up and then get a little bit of pullback, we get that higher low and we push up. Previous high day and overnight high as of right now are the same level. So obviously there's not a whole lot of magnitude there either. So what we would then do is just make sure we're watching price action. If we do get that push to the previous low day, then obviously you can take profits here, or it would be a good idea to take profits here. That's a decent sized move. But if we get that move to the upside and hit previous high day, yeah, you can take some profits there depending on where you got your entry, especially if it's right, real close to the opening print. But at that point, we're kind of looking at that 4-hour and the 1 day charts and those triggers and targets that we have on those time frames to try and get more to add to that, right? But for just early morning scalps or early entries into longer day trades, we're looking for that higher low at or above opening print to get into calls, or lower highs at or below opening print to get into puts. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour time chart so that we can take a look at more of a day trade picture, right? Possibly even overnight swing, depending on how things line up, right? So just like yesterday, there we go. We had a 2 and an inside candle. Yesterday happened to be a 2 down and then an inside candle. Today was a 2 up and an inside candle. So that means we do have a strat entry and exit for that for the move, whichever way we go, right? So entry to the top side would be as soon as we break above the high of the second 4-hour candle from today. We want to enter calls, but the magnitude of that move is just the high of yesterday. So not really much there. Not sure that I would really put anything on that just playing just the strat. If we're playing just the strat, then obviously the downside would offer you more magnitude there, right? You enter at the low of the 1, you exit at the low of the 2, right? Now, if we say we do go to the downside, right? We reach that previous low of day. If we go below that previous low of day, then we trigger this 1 combo 2 up, 2 down, and the magnitude of that move is not the low of the 1, but the low of the candle to the left of the 1. So you want to keep that in mind. Maybe leave some runners if we do reach that previous low of day, especially if we've got some momentum. If internals are all negative, continue that move. Look for first the bottom, the low of the 1, but the ultimate move for ultimate magnitude for that move is the low of the 2 to the left of the 1. All right. To the upside, we would be in this, kind of a convoluted, or I don't want to say convoluted, but it's a wide strat, right? It's this 2 down or combo 2 down, combo 2 up that should take you back up here to the $60 to $63 level, right? So would have to fight through, obviously we've got the gap that could act as a magnet to pull us up, but we've got last week or this week and this month's flip level, right? So below this level, the week and the month are green. We've got this weekly broadening formation. We've got last week's low. We've got last month's 50% level. We've got a monthly broadening formation here as well. So plenty of resistance to the upside, as opposed to the downside. There's not a lot there to catch us other than this 138.2 fib extension from the April 7th bull flag, right? Now, if we go to the day time frame, yeah, that's the day, and clean things up just a little bit. There we go. Oops. Come on, Thinkorswim. What's going on? There we go. All right. So on the day time frame, we are in this, broadening formation. Looks like we're bouncing off the bottom of the broadening formation, trying to make it back to the top. But again, all those levels of resistance I've already talked about, not to mention if we get past those that I've already mentioned, we've got last week's 50% level, the 200 fib extension of the April low bull flag, and market makers expected move high before we would be making any type of higher high in the week time frame, right? Which would be a bullish engulfing candle. But from the day standpoint, if we go to the downside, then we have a pretty simple 2 up, 2 down. Enter at the low of today, which would be previous low a day tomorrow, and exit at the low of the 2 down from Tuesday, right? So very simple. If we do continue to go to the downside, I would be cautious, right? We've got this daily broadening formation. We've got the 138.2 fib extension of the April 7th low bull flag. We've got last quarter's high right here at 50.76, and then last month's low at 49.33. So a lot of support in this area that if we do get some push down tomorrow, I would be watching for some type of possibly higher low on the day time frame. If we go to the upside, we get this 2 down combo 2 up, right? Because this 2 up plus tomorrow's 2 up would be a combined 2 up. And again, that should take you back up to this $63 level if you're able to fight through these levels of resistance, all right? Looked at the charts quite a bit, so let's go to the notes, right? These are for Thursday, March 5th. There will be 209 trading days left in 2026, and the close on Wednesday was 56.62. We know the week and the month are red. They turn green at 58.15, but we know the quarter and the year are green. It would take for them to go to 45.13 to flip those to red. So we've got competing time frames, right? No full time frame continuity or anything like that. So when you have time frames competing like that, then it's not a surprise to get some choppy action, right? We know the market makers' expected move for the week was $8.86 from the close price on Friday, giving us an expected range of 71.63 to 53.91. We are still in that range, but more towards the bottom. The gap from, we forgot to change that number. It is no longer, that is, let's see, high, 57.72. Right, so we do have a gap above from 57.72 to 58.05. Very small gap, but it still can act as a magnet to price action. But we have quite a bit more gaps below, right? So keep those in mind. We know from a scalping perspective, very early in the morning, we're looking for higher lows at or above opening print to get into calls, or lower highs at or below opening print to get into puts. We talked about on the 4-hour time frame, if we go to the downside, we get this 2-1-2 down triggering at 56.14 with a magnitude of 54.38. So decent magnitude there, but if we do reach that level, that would trigger then the 1 combo 2 up, 2 down, which has a magnitude of 51.30, ultimate magnitude of 51.36. All right. If we go to the upside tomorrow in that first 4-hour candle, that would trigger the 2-1-2 up at 57.50. But unfortunately, the magnitude for that move is only 57.72. So, it's not large enough for you to take the move just based off of this strat alone. You would want to see the 57.72 breached to trigger this day strat to give yourself any type of magnitude to shoot for, right? But like we said, if we hit that 57.72, then that triggers that 2 down, 2 up. 2 down combo 2 up. Let's mark that correctly. Combo 2 up. There we go. 2 down combo 2 up. Again, triggering at 57.72. We've got the gap close at 58.05, and then the magnitude of the 2 down combo 2 up at 59.41. Right. We talked about on the day. If we go to the downside, that is triggered at 54.38. That's the magnitude of the 4-hour move. right? So 54.38 triggers the 2 up, 2 down with the magnitude of 51.36. If we do reach the magnitude and we've still got some momentum, maybe we've got the right catalyst going that will bring us to the downside. Next target is that 49.33 area, and then we've got the gap close at 48.09 below, and we've listed a couple of extra extended targets for you if the bottom really falls out of things. To the upside, we would have, if we go to the upside, we would have this 2 down combo 2 up, triggering at 57.72, and the magnitude of that move is 59.41. It puts you in another combo 2 up, which has a magnitude of 68.62. But again, we talked about those levels of resistance getting to that 68.62. So we did have these other intermediate targets for you there that we may reach tomorrow and kind of stall out there before continuing the next day up to that 62.82 or possibly even pulling back, right? We know that on the week we triggered this one failed up 2 down. It did reach magnitude at 59.29, which then triggered this combo 2 up, 2 down. Reached its first target at 55.49, but we have another intermediate target at 51.91 before reaching its ultimate magnitude at 49.33. So remember that 49.33 level. Would not be surprised to see us reach that. All right. If we were going to go green 3 on the week or bullish engulfing candle, got to get up to that 72.36 area. So still quite a ways from there. We'll talk about it more if we start to approach it. As far as the month goes, we're still an inside month. Got to break below 49.33 to trigger anything to the downside, and got to break above 72.36 just for continuation, right? It's not even a strat reversal at that point like it is on the downside. It's just a continuation. So no real magnitude for that move, just extended targets. And lastly, on the quarter and year, we've already triggered and reached the strat for both of those. So not much else to go there either.